Hi everyone, today we will be studying a poem titled, The Human Seasons, written by John Keats. In this video, I will first give you a brief introduction of the poet and the poem. Then I will explain the poem line by line. John Keats was born in the 31st of October 1795 in London and he died in the 23rd of February 1821 in Rome at the age of 25. He was a prominent English poet and he belongs to the second generation of Romantic poets along with Byron and Shelley. All his poems were published for only 4 years before he died of tuberculosis at the age of 25. He contributed several great works to the canon of English language poetry. About the poem, The Human Seasons, is an Elizabethan sonnet. The poem is written in iambic pentameter. It has the rhyme scheme A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. The poem presents the 4 stages of human mind and compares it to the 4 seasons of a year. It also applies for the human body. Now, let's start reading. 4 seasons fill the measure of the year. There are 4 seasons in the mind of man. He has his lusty spring, when fancy clear takes in all beauty with an easy span. In the first line, the speaker begins by telling the readers that there are 4 different seasons in a year. Similarly, in the second, there are 4 different seasons in a man's mind. The third line describes the first season of a man's mind, that is, the spring. In this lusty spring season, he fancy and lusts for different things. It is marked by tremendous appetite for fun and play. He wants to take and have all the beautiful things around him. The spring mindset suggests the mind of man in his youth where he thinks only about physical beauty. This type of mindset generally belongs to infants and youths. Spring occupies only 2 lines of this poem, which reflects the shortness of a childish outlook on life. He has his summer, when luxuriously springs honeyed cud of youthful thought he loves to ruminate, and by such dreaming high as nearest unto heaven, quiet coves. Here, the speaker talks about the next season of a man's mind, the summer. In this season, the man thinks and reflects on his youthful feelings with more clarity. The summer mindset of a man lacks the same lust and ease of spring, but he can ruminate on spring's honeyed cud of youthful thought. Like a cow or ruminant animal who would chew and re-chew its cud, a man's mind in its summer thinks and rethinks about his fancies. That means in summer he thinks about the sweetness of youth and by reflecting on them, he gains a sense of enlightenment. After rethinking about his youthful mind and gaining a sense of enlightenment, his mindset becomes nearer to heaven. Slowly, after he acquires a sense of self-realization and enlightenment, he enters the quiet coves of autumn. His soul has in its autumn, when his wings he furleth close, contented so to look on mists in idleness, to let fair things pass by unheeded as a threshold brook. Here the speaker talks about the autumn season of a man's mind. Autumn receives the largest portion of the poem, which shows the length of this mindset in a man's life. In this season of a man's mind, he does not want anything wild and he closes the wings of his fancy. A man with autumn mindset is at peace and is lazy or idle. The autumn mindset generally belongs to a middle-aged man. He does not think or fancy about beauty, which he used to be obsessed with in his spring days. He let the fair or beautiful things pass away. He does not notice them anymore. Man's mind in his autumn seems to be waiting for its end. He is no longer driven by the fun and beauty in his environment. Autumn suggests a resignation into one's own thoughts and also some emotional closure. This reflects the wisdom of a man in the later years of his adulthood. He has his winter too of pale misfeature, or else he would forego his mortal nature. The last 2 lines in this poem talks about the last season in a man's mind, the winter. Winter ultimately closes the year just like old age closes the life of a man on earth. In its winter season, the man's mind goes dead possibly because of the man's physical death. Pale misfeature, here would suggest both the mental and physical death. In the last line, the speaker tells us that the mind let go of its mortal nature. There is no more activity in the mind, which clearly suggests death. The rhyming words, misfeature, and nature, denotes the inevitability of death. If you enjoyed or find this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos.